Welcome to Ketchikan Public Library's DIY with Gayle. Today we're going to think about Halloween a little bit. I had some discarded books that I decided to turn into a witch, a couple of witches, and a pumpkin. Here they are, and I'm just tickled pink with them. The hardest part of this project is choosing the book that you're going to cut up. I chose outdated teaching books. I forget what they're called. But anyway, so let's get started. Move my little witches off to the side here. The first thing, like I said, you'll need is a book. And that'll be for both of these projects. The pumpkin project is very, very simple. The hardest part of it is after you paint the little pages is to make sure none of your pages stick together. So you'll spend some time picking them apart a little bit, okay? And even dry, which this is very dry, I did this yesterday, you can still get them to come apart. And it just looks cute. You don't have to worry about painting inside of there or anything, you're just painting the edge. So, let's say you figured out which book you wanted to demolish. The first thing you do is take off your cover and spine and back cover, leaving the glue, okay? You want to keep that glue. What happens is that ends up being, that book glue ends up being the center of our pumpkin. It will end up splayed out like this, okay? So I've got the pumpkin, or the book. Then I just open it and decide on a shape. Now I'm going to show you here, I started with a dull knife. And what happens with a dull knife is it tears. So make sure you have a new blade in your cutting knife, okay? And all I did was just make the shape of what I thought a pumpkin might look like. Don't worry about all this little stuff here. It's not a big deal. And then you just cut, okay? So I have a pretty good pattern start here. I'm going to just follow my line if I can get this open. Being careful because this is a very sharp blade, and just follow it around to the pattern that you decided on. And keep cutting away until your pumpkin emerges. And it is messy. I mean, you'll have pieces of paper all over the place. And you can start peeling the parts away. I find that having a little bit of a hole in there to cut it makes the shape come better and easier for me to cut. And just keep on cutting. Cutting and tearing. And I don't know if you can see up here, this is the book glue part here. And I'm actually going to try leaving that attached when I take the rest of this off. And that's going to be my stem. I actually, on the other one, had cut it off and then re-glued it inside. So I'm going to try and leave it there and see if that way I don't have to glue it. And look at that. So it doesn't take a long time to do. It's just messy. Okay, and then we'll finish this side. I think I got a lot of that one cut too already. I try to tear too much. I think I have more muscles than what I have. All right, so look at that, you guys. There is our pumpkin out of our book. I'm going to take a pair of scissors here and trim up my stem a little bit. Be better if I had my big one, but that's okay. All right, you guys. So this is what it looks like as soon as you get it cut out of the book. Then, you see this? That's that glue thing from the spine of the book. Plug my hot glue gun in. Now I will mention on this project, on both these projects, the witch and the pumpkin, I'm using a hot glue gun. You will need to be careful. It would be better if you used the cool temp glue gun, just simply because we're going to use styrofoam for the head of the witch, and I melted one of the heads by using the hot glue. So I'm going to be plugging and unplugging my hot glue gun because my cool glue gun has no glue. I ran out. And it doesn't take long for this one to heat up, but I will say it gets very, very hot. Okay, and all I'm going to do is just run some glue, and it's not hot enough yet, so I'm gonna run some glue there and just push the seam together. Hold it till it dries, and then check this out. Now I found if you kind of go like this to open it up, you'll do pretty good. Whoops, it came apart. Make sure that glue dries good, okay? And I may have to add more. Yep, I do. And it'll probably take a bit because we're going in the direction that this book does not want to go. And then you just start placing your pages, separating them. And any of this stuff here that's kind of sticking off, you can take your scissors and start going over that and cleaning it up. And you will need to do that. It's just one of the side effects there of trying to cut it off. Now, remember I had a knife that wasn't sharp enough? I'm not going to worry about any of that. It's not really going to show that much. If you look into the one that I've already finished, I mean, even those little pieces that I didn't get cut off, they still look kind of neat. And so don't worry about it. A little messy is good, okay? And all I did to paint it was to take a little bit of paint on my paintbrush. Where's my paintbrush? Here it is. And then hold some of them together and just go like this, okay? And of course, this is after you clean up as much as you want to clean up on your, if you want it even, which you'll see, it's not even at all. If you put them together, they're not perfectly symmetrical or anything like that. Personally, I think that's part of the fun. Okay, and just keep going over the edges here and get them all nice and colored. Just the edges, you don't have to go on the inside. And then, like I said, while they're wet, spread them out a little. Okay, because you want them to flow. And look at that. I'm just going to do this one side so I can start on the witches for you. But see how it goes? You get the general idea? And that is a pumpkin. We'll paint the little stem green or brown, I don't know, probably brown. But there's a quick and easy pumpkin, all right? Now, back to the book stuff. As I said, once you get your cover torn off, this is what we're going to do next. So once we've removed the cover, and this is for the witches, we're going to fold down, fold up, and fold down again. Okay, let's watch that again. Turn your page, and do push to get that open, okay? Fold down, fold up, fold down, and turn. Okay, here we go again. Fold down, fold up, and fold down. Now I want you to look at that. I'm going to stand it up. And then I'll, oops, I've got two of them here. And I'm going to put my little witch right next to it so you can see. This is the top of her dress. This is the bottom, okay? So we've got the top of her dress and the bottom of her dress. Okay? All right. Now this is going to take a while. I sat in front of the TV and watched news and went to town, and this is what you end up with. I left a couple of pages so you can see. I'm going to show you how it curls. In this area here is where that spine is. You can, I think, see it from right here. And it's curling in on itself because there's so much paper. It takes about 160 pages. This book happened to be one of those that was huge. I was actually able, or I am actually able, to get 2 witches out of this. Okay, so, oops, see, I'm going to fold it wrong here. I'll move this one down for my, all right. And you've got to pull hard to keep these last ones. So here's your fold down, fold up, and fold down again. And the last one, and be pushing on them. Push them tight. Get them mashed in there. Fold down, fold up, and fold down. And this is what you end up with. Now on this one, if you make them nice and tight like this, there is no reason to have to glue that center. It just kind of holds by itself because it is so thick. And please note, not all of mine measure exactly the same. They're different, and that's okay. Now, to get it to stand up, I used cardboard circles. I just took 2 and glued them together and then glued the witch to the cardboard in order to have her stand up. So I happen to have 2 of those cut out over here. I did paint the top one brown. I think it's nutmeg brown. And then I just glue the 2 pieces together, just so it's nice and sturdy. Okay, so once it's on there, then we're going to put a ton of glue on the bottom of our witch. And then we're going to set her in the center as well as we can and hold her still. And yes, there is going to be a pile of glue there, but you're going to need a pile to hold this. This one is going to be my tallest witch. I wanted a big one with a bunch of little ones. So it takes a few minutes to adhere, and you want to make sure that you're holding it still so it does. Okay, you can see it's glob, not a problem. I can go back over if I want and paint that glob of glue brown, which if you look at the others, it really doesn't show that much. As I said, this is really, really hot. Okay, we're not quite ready to let go yet, it says. Okay, looks pretty good. Nope, nope, it doesn't. Hold it till it does, you guys. because all we're going to do is pile more stuff on. I'm actually going to add a little more around it. This one is very heavy, like I said. The little witches over there, the two small ones were made from paperback novels. To me, they were the easiest to do. Very, very manageable in size. Now on these, you can't read anything. Like one of those was kind of a steamy romance. You would not want to use a steamy romance for your pumpkin because you can get in there and read it. Mine happened to be going to my grandchildren's house, so I don't want steamy romance in their pumpkin. Just saying. All right, looks like we're on there. Now, let's see if we're too hot for the head. I melted one of the heads by doing this, so we're gonna hope that this one isn't. And then the head. Mine is still moving here, so I'm gonna hold on for a while. And that's basically our witch's body. And we're just gonna sit here and hold it and look at it. You can start thinking of what you might want to put onto her. I'm going to show you how to make the hat. I will tell you the hat was probably the hardest part for me. My first one had some problems and I just covered them up. And you can't even tell. Well, maybe you can. All right. So for her hat, for the brim, I'm just going to take this lid because it looks like it's a good size. This is felt that I'm using. Okay. So we made the circle. That's the brim. Okay. And all I'm doing, I folded it in half. I folded it in half again. And then I'm just going to clip out some of this at the point, okay? So here's the brim. This is the point. I'm going to do it one more time. Fold, fold, and then right here at this point, we're going to cut some off. Okay. I'm actually going to take a little bit more off because I want it to fit around that styrofoam ball, just a little bit. Just like that. Now I could do it more and have it more over her face, but I think I like it right there. And then for my top, I just get the paper off here. The corner is going to be the tip of the hat. So I'm just going to fold it into a triangle. That's the tip of my hat, and I need an approximate size. So I'm putting it up against her head to get an idea of where I want it, which I think it's going to be right here. Okay. I'm going to move her out of the way a little bit. Take my hot glue gun. And all I'm doing is going along the edge. Guess what? I need more glue. Just along that edge. And then when I turn it, I'm just going to put the edges together. Hold it for a second or two. And then just work your way up. glue dried. Careful, that's hot. If you want, you can also use tacky glue for this stuff. Sorry, I threw my glue on the floor. Tacky just takes a lot longer to dry, and I'm kind of an instant kind of gal. All right, there's my little hat. I'm gonna stick my finger up there and break that loose piece of glue, kind of, yeah, stuck it together there. All right. Now I can go up here and say, yeah, that's about right. Okay. And if you look, you can see I did not cut that real well. So I'm going to trim that up just so that I don't have that little point thing there. Okay. And then just more glue. More glue. I don't know what's up with this glue gun, but it does not like pushing the glue through. Okay. And up here, sorry, I moved really fast on that one. And just set it right on top of her hat there. You'll see there's lots of little glue strings. You can pick those off later. And there she is. Now on the one that I saw in the book that I was looking at, they didn't actually put faces on, but I happened to have a bunch of those little eyes, so I went ahead and added eyes. You can see how old they are because the plastic is yellowed. So there's no need for faces if you don't want. All right, so our witch. Our witch actually needs to have her body painted. So we're gonna stop with the glue and unplug that because it's darn hot right now. With our little witch, same as with the pumpkin, all you're doing is painting the edges. You don't care about getting into in between or anything like that. So just paint away. At this point, if you wanted to paint your styrofoam, you can do that before you put the hat on too. Totally up to you. And just get her all nice and painted up. I didn't want my witches wearing black outfits this year. This year they're just going to be green and orange. Like the black witch hat, but I think these witches are gonna just have a little fun. I have a feeling I've got some grandsons who are gonna think these are pretty cool. These will be at the library for you to be able to see this morning, actually. Now make sure if your glue has any goopies in it that you don't leave them on here, that you just take those off. Some of my glue is, or my paint, I mean, is pretty darn old. And so it has some clumps that I'll try and push off to the edge. So Halloween this year is going to be at my daughter's house. We're going to have a little Halloween party with the kids instead of doing the trick-or-treating and stuff this year. And I'm excited. I think we should do a spook house. Do you remember back in the day when you did the spook house and you'd have the peeled grapes warm peeled grapes in a dark room with bowls and stuff, and you'd feel them. Oh, gross. It always reminded me of eyeballs. Okay, you have to get this part too down on the bottom, part of the dress. And there's that glump I was talking about. Okay. Yeah, I'm down to the bottom of this one. Can you tell? Now I will be painting my base again because I've obviously got some orange on it. I think when I was a kid, we made like turkeys out of books, magazines. I want to say it was magazines. That was a long time ago. All right, she's looking good. Now for her arms, we're just going to use some pipe cleaners. And I hope I have some orange ones because I was actually going to paint her green. And I got the green ones out. Okay. And I like this side for the front because she'll be looking up. If I put this side, she'll be looking down. So I think this is going to be my front. So I want to make sure that my front is all nice and covered with the orange. Another glob. Now for the arms, let's see, I do have orange. Good. Now on the small ones, I was able to cut the pipe cleaner in half. And I think a little bit bigger than that. Plug that hot glue gun in again. Okay, and we're just going to use that hot glue to attach the pipe cleaner approximately here. And then I just roll it. I want that glue kind of covered. Or not showing in a big clump, I guess is what I'm trying to say. So up here by the neck, there we go. Now please, when you do it, wait till she's a little drier and you won't end up with paint all over yourself, okay? Now, that takes care of her parts there. How about her hair? So for the hair, we just use black pipe cleaners. And I rolled them around my hot glue to give them their little bounce. Glue and paper everywhere. And then we're just going to put it up here under the hat a little bit. And we'll go back through and rebend all of those so that they're nice and coiled right, how I want them. right now I'm just getting it on so you can see, and then we'll go back and we'll make her look all beautiful. Now, you'll note that the hat still moved up and down on the head. I did not glue the brim down, I just glued the top to the brim because I wanted to be able to put that hair under there. And the hair itself will, because of the glue in the hair, will hold the hat in place now that we're attaching the hair, okay? And just keep going with hair. You don't need a lot. You just need the idea of. Don't get yourself burnt. Remember, you're sticking it up underneath that hat a little bit. Okay. And what, about 2 more over there? Yeah. I was going to glue the glue thing to it. Yikes. A little bit much there. And in we go. And last one. All right, she's in her hair. Yay. One of the other things we need to design is her broom. I'm doing the main things here because you can go in and do your own little designs, crafty notions and stuff on them. Okay, I have a dowel and I want to do, oh, I'm going to leave hers whole. On the others, I broke them, and where I broke them is where I ended up putting my broom fibers. In this case, I'm using yarn, and all I did to do that was basically coil the yarn around your hand until you get as much as you think you want. And I'd like hers a bit fluffy. I cut a piece off that's a little bit long, and the reason I did that is because I'm going to poke my stick in here, and I'm going to take that long piece and I'm going to wrap it around and around tightly. And just keep wrapping. It'll make it look like that top part of the broom where it is all wrapped up. And you can see this. I don't know if you can see it with the, that's hot, with the camera. Okay. And then of course my glue will also hold down the, or hold it to the stick. Okay. And then we cut our bottom. I just hacked it because I wanted all different blanks. Okay. And I've got a little brown left over here. These sticks are from my old paint stirring stuff. So they were pretty in their own right with all sorts of different colors, but I thought they needed to be brown. Okay, and then once you have that, let it there to dry for a minute, I'm going to bend her elbow, and then I'm going to take part of this and I'm going to bend it twice to make it look like she has a hand. Okay, Same with this one, bend the end twice. It just makes it look a little fuller and gives the illusion of a hand. Okay, and I'm going to take and make her hold her broom. Okay, and I'm going to take just a squirt of hot glue to help hold it, and there we drip. And then this one will go under and fold it up. Same for that one, just a little glue. I'll use my paintbrush and take some of that off. Like I said, a cooler glue gun would do much better, so just heads up on that one, okay? All right. You can adjust this however you want to have her doing whatever with it. I want her to be looking like she's sweeping, I guess. Okay, now we can start with all the doodads. On this one, I thought these would be adorable. An approximate length. Center right there. I recommend only doing spots of glue when adding your accessory instead of going and gooping it all the way around. Just do little spots of it. Turn that so you can see it. Now, if you wanted, you could cut it off. I kind of like it hanging, so I'm going to leave it. And I would like some around her neck. Maybe a little longer so it looks like a necklace instead of a choker. So same thing on that, just dabs of glue here and there. I'm gonna put one here, push that up in there. That was hot. And her other side. She's coming along. I'm going to go along the edge on this one like I did on the other with the pearls because I just think they're adorable. Let's see if I have enough to go all the way. I do. So starting at the back, I'm going to attach one. Careful once you get the glue all over yourself. All of the items that you want to glue to your witch want to be glued to you. So that noise you're listening to is my birds. It's early morning And this is their talking time. I am rushing a little because I don't want to make this video too long, but I do want you to see her finished. If you get a chance, swing by the library. Like I said, they will be at the library today. All right, you guys, I am going to leave her like this for now and let her dry. I might add a few more things to her later. This is the time you would go back in and fix that hair the way you want it to hang. Is there anything else you want to add? At the last minute, I had this great idea. Where did I put her? The book. Did you see the book? I just thought the book was kind of clever. Beans, they are going to the library, for goodness sake. All right, you guys, enjoy. I hope you've enjoyed this, and if you get a chance to make one, there you go. Mask on, see you at the library.